Hello guys, this is a player's guide to Ultimate Werewolf. This is the game, this is the version I use, Ultimate Werewolf Deluxe Edition. These are the basic rules for a player. There is somebody that's called a moderator that coordinates the game, but that will be my role and that will be nothing that you need to know about at this point. This is just a player's guide to getting started and knowing the foundations of the game. It's a social deduction game for 7 or 8 players minimum, and upwards, so anything up to 70 plus players, but from my experience the best number of people is somewhere between 10 and 20. That makes for the best game. So the way the game works is there are 2 teams. There is a werewolf team and then there is a village team. You will be on one of those 2 teams, and the object of the game is for the werewolves to kill the villagers and wipe them out to win the game, and vice versa, for the villagers to kill the werewolves before the werewolves kill them. Once you know your role, you know that, nobody else knows that role at the beginning anyway. The werewolf team will generally be a lot smaller than the villager team. So as an example, let's say it's a 7-player game, there will probably just be like 2 werewolves and 5 villagers. At the beginning of the game, the werewolves find out very quickly who each other are, and therefore by process of elimination know that everybody else is a villager. So they're a smaller team, but they have that advantage, that knowing everybody, whereas the villager team are completely blind and they don't know who anybody is. So the way the game works is there are multiple phases throughout the game. 2 phases, a night phase and a day phase, and they get repeated over and over throughout the game. So the first phase of the game is the first night phase, and in the first night phase what I ask everybody to do is to close their eyes or go to sleep. So everybody goes to sleep, they close their eyes, and then I start waking rolls up one by one and giving them actions to take. Very simple actions that will always be explained during every night phase. So let's say I get in the first night phase, I first of all ask the werewolves to wake up. Everybody else should have their eyes closed, the werewolves should open their eyes, acknowledge who each other are, and then go back to sleep again. Then there are villager roles that have special powers. I would probably wake up a few of them, enact their special powers, but I get to that at a later stage. That was the end of the first night phase. Once everybody wakes up after that first night phase, the first day phase begins. Now in the first day phase, basically everybody gets to talk to each other, they have a chat amongst themselves, and they've just got to try to deduce anything they can, basically. Try to figure out who's a werewolf, who's not a werewolf, blah blah blah. And if you're a werewolf at this point, you have to lie, basically. You have to make sure that nobody knows who you are. So people talk for a few minutes, and then at the end of these first few minutes, I then ask people to decide whether they would like a lynching or not. Now a lynching is where somebody gets taken out of the game, basically. They get killed and they are eliminated from the game. They can no longer participate. They can watch and spectate, which is a lot of fun in itself, but they can't continue in the game, and they essentially lose the game for that particular person. So the way lynching happens is I ask on 3, 2, 1 for somebody, you either to give me a thumbs up for a lynching or thumbs down if you do not want to lynching. If it gets a majority vote of a thumbs up, the lynching goes ahead, and then I ask you to go 3, 2, 1 and point at the person that you would like to kill that day. And the person with the majority of fingers pointed at them is then the person eliminated. They're eliminated, they then reveal their role, and they tell us all who they are, and we commiserate or we celebrate. And then that is it, they are eliminated from the game. From then on they can just watch the rest of the game unfold, but everybody else would then immediately go to sleep and the second night phase would begin. Second night phase, what then happens is the werewolves get their first chance to kill somebody. So the werewolves would wake up, and between the 2 of them carefully make a decision by pointing and using eye contact to determine who they would like to take out that night. And the person that they decide upon would then be killed once the night phase ends. And then I would go through village roles in that night phase, and then once that's all been done, I will wake them up, tell people what's happened during the night, and that will be executed. Then the second day phase happens, and that is exactly the same as the first day phase. It ends with the lynching, and then the third night phase would happen, and that is exactly the same as the second night phase. Again, the werewolves can attack somebody, and other roles get used. And then that mechanic just repeats over and over again until either the village team are the winners or the werewolf team win. And if you're on the winning team and still alive at the end of the game, you've won the game. And that is basically it. Other than that, the only thing is to sort of explain some special roles, but there are dozens and dozens and dozens of special roles that can be incorporated in this game. So just a brief example is something like the seer. The seer, basically every night I wake the seer up in the night phase and I say, point to somebody, whoever you point at, I will give you the identity of, and I will say if they are A, either a villager, or B, a werewolf. And by that she can slowly whittle down players and slowly reveal the identities of players, and then use that to maybe influence her village team in the day phase. Another example of a special character villager card is the bodyguard. The bodyguard each night phase can protect somebody. So if that person is targeted for elimination by the werewolves during that night phase, then I wake them up in the day and I say, look, this person was targeted, but they were protected. So, and therefore they do not die and they carry on with the game. That's just a couple of examples, but there are many examples, all of which I would explain in the game. So that's it, guys, and I really hope you can join us, and it's a lot of fun, and yeah, see you there. Thanks a lot. Bye.